Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the instant match reaction. Luton Town 1, Everton 1. A hard-fought point in a meaningless game for Everton tonight. This is the game, wasn't it? This is the game that we were all a little bit worried about if we had to sort of get something from this, if last week hadn't happened. And I'll be honest, I'm glad we didn't have to get something from this game. Not down to like necessarily quality and stuff. I just don't think it would have been much different if we had to have got something tonight. It very much felt like a cup tie, like a Premier League team going to a lower division team, and I don't mean that with disrespect for Luton. The ground, the feel, the old school chants, the quality of some of their players is more hard work and running through brick walls than it is actual lots and lots of talent. And I'll be honest, you can say some of that about Everton as well, don't get me wrong. Very, very tough game. And it was not a good game. It was not a good game of football. It was exactly what I think we all thought it was going to be. And it played out exactly like we all thought it was going to be. Them trying to bully us a little bit. Them trying to hit us where it hurts, which is in the wide areas. And try and put crosses in and dominating the back post like we do off set pieces. So we can't have a go at that by any means. We can't have a go at that because they were trying to do to us what we've done to them. Slow start, obviously that's our best team that we've picked tonight, so no problem there. Slow start, and then once we got into it, I thought we looked very comfortable getting the ball down, playing the passes. We could have potentially had a penalty on Dwight McNeil. I think it's one of them. I think that's a borderline one for me. I don't think it was a definite penalty by any means. It was a borderline one. And then we did get the penalty, which there's absolutely no doubt that that's a penalty. I don't care who you support. There's no doubt that that's a penalty. He's got older Brantwaite. And he won't let him go, and there's nothing he can do. That's a penalty. That's a penalty, and that's all it is. Dom stepped up, even though Ashley Young looked like he was going to take it, and put it right down the middle. Keeper nearly got some. Well, he did get something on it, but not enough, and we went 1-0 up. And then we did what we do very often these games, and sometimes is a little bit predictable. We dropped off instead of kept on doing what we were doing. We allowed them back in the game. I thought Jack Harrison was far too weak on the ball on the right side, giving it away so softly. And we've allowed them to pin Adebayo against Ashley Young. And I think Adebayo's done brilliantly for this goal, by the way. People talking about whether it being a foul or whatever. I thought he'd done brilliantly. I thought it was brilliant centre-forward play. Pinned them and finished it brilliantly. It's a fair play to the lad. There'll be a lot of teams looking at him in the summer, and I hope if Everton have got any kind of money, we would look at him ourselves. Although I can't imagine that will happen. But I thought it was a really good goal for them, that, and a really good goal for the strike. You can see what they've missed with him being out, and he gave us a tough time at Goodison as well. So he done well, and then obviously we started to come a little bit under pressure, and we had a couple of moments. I think we had one where it was just sort of clear. Tarks, again, it looked like Tarks had been held. Brantwaite put it across. Tarks got something on it, and it was cleared off the line. Then they had one cleared off the line at the other end. I think it was Ben Godfrey cleared one off the line again. Crossed to the back post, headed back, and it looked like it was going in. And then Harrison had a shot, which took a deflection, and again, may have creeped in, may not. The keeper got a hand on it. That was in the second half, wasn't it? And the first half we were fine, 1-1 going in, and then the second half we just didn't come out. We just didn't come out. You could tell who it meant something to, and someone who had basically, it didn't mean anyone and all in the build up. This is what we were talking about. When a team, when they need it more, you see that urgency, and you could see the urgency in their players. You could see their urgency. They wanted it. They wanted to go for it, and they lacked the quality. That's the top and bottom. Chong looked really good going forward, and then a player, a pass, it hit a pass too far, or would overrun a ball or whatever. The little bit of quality that they did have was Ross Barkley, and he was dictating the midfield. And it wasn't until we made, the first subs we made where it didn't work. Bringing Gomez and an Onana didn't work. Our midfield was so exposed. James Garner had to go off because he was being booked for a nothing book. And Garner and Garner goes off as well. Those subs didn't really. Those Onana, and Andre Gomez just made the game far too open. We were just far too open when they came on. Barkley just waltzed through our midfield. Onana was poor. Gomez maybe wanted a little bit too much time on the ball, and Jessica Gay was sort of trying to keep it all together. We obviously had to take Ashley Young off, who looked like he had. I mean, do you know what? Sometimes I find weird with these. With the one on, why isn't that a foul on Ashley Young getting headbutted? I know it's not deliberate, and I know the lad's going for the ball, but how is that not a foul? And he looked wobbly, and he ended up going off for Seamus Coleman. He looked really wobbly. Seamus come on, obviously went to right back, and they swapped over. And it wasn't until we brought Schmitty on and we brought Better on that we started to get a little bit more control, because we could just go long and we had two people to hold the ball up. Again, I'm not sure why he didn't leave Dom on. Why he didn't make that change earlier and maybe bring Better on with Dom, or even Schmitty on with Dom, and give that 10 minutes or so together. Because when we went long and we had two up front, we started to have a little effect. But again, neither of them had real control. Schmitty had a couple of moments. Beto again went down in the box. I don't think that was a penalty personally. Some people will, but if we give that away, I'd be saying that wasn't a penalty. And we never really had any control. I think he got the subs wrong. Midfield was an area tonight. Was a real black hole for us tonight. It really was. Where we were losing a lot of the second balls, and they were picking them up, and then they were starting to run, whether it was Chong or whether it was Ross Barkley. But as I said before, they wanted it more than we did at the end of the day, because they knew they had to try and get a win out the game, and that's it was saved. I mean, some people might say he should have scored. Keepers made a decent save, but the midfield was just wide open because it just didn't have that structure. And it did, to be honest, it lost its. As soon as James Garner got booked, it lost its structure really, because he couldn't put those tackles in that he does like to make. But the problem with those tackles is, and he did at least one foul afterwards, where you're right on the borderline and you can't go down to 10 men. You can't have a player sent off, so you've got to make that. He's got to make sure he doesn't put anything stupid tackles in, and you've got to make that decision. So we made the sub, and we just looked wide open. To be honest, Luton are a dreadful football team. I'm not saying Everton are a good football team, but Luton are a pretty dreadful football team. But they've got heart, and they've got the will to just keep on going. And they've got a couple of decent players. They're not much of a team, as I said, but they've got some good young Chong, Adebayo, and Barkley. Three really talented players, and then they've got other players in the mix that do the work and do the hard work. So they've give us a go towards the end there. Towards the end, the one that really wound me up. We had 5-on-4, was it? And Gomez had the ball, and he just gives them straight back. And then they picked the ball up, went down the other end, had two corners, a free kick, one cleared off the line. And it's like, if Gomez had just played the right ball, we would have been in. we would have been in for a winning goal. And I hate stuff like that. That winds me up more than anything. Seeing stuff like that when you've got a real opportunity to break someone down. Just a little bit of composure. But we didn't have any composure at all. But it was brilliant. I don't know. He played 6 minutes, and I don't know where he got 2 extra minutes from. I've got no idea where he got 2 extra minutes from. Again, almost that wanting them to win. But it was great to see Branthwaite clear that one from Townsend, and you know, really celebrating doing his job. I love to see that. We've learned nothing tonight. We've learned absolutely nothing tonight about our team. Of course we haven't, because we are safe. But we've just got a point, and that's a good point. So let's go next week at home, get a win against Sheffield United, get us to 40 points in the table, even though it would be 48 points, and stay hopefully above Brentford. Although, you know, they've got a game tomorrow where they could go above us. But yeah, you could say, as I said this in the build-up, it's very much like last week against Brentford. For us against Brentford, it's who wants it more on the day. Who does it really matter to? And a draw was a fair result on, you know, on if you look at the possession and you look at the shots on target and the big chances and the XG. You know, I think our XG was actually higher than this. We had better chances. It was a fair result. It was a fair result. So yeah, we take that. We move on to next week. Everyone can go and enjoy their bank holiday weekend, and yeah, there's no need to worry. There's no need to overanalyze, and there's no need to really criticise anyone. It's just disappointing that we've conceded, of course, because I think that was the opportunity for Pickford to try and get the golden goals, but he's lost that now. So never mind. If he comes in second, I think still represents a fantastic season for him. So yeah, there's no need to overanalyze. So I'm gonna go. And I am going to start preparing the player ratings. And I'll catch you very, very soon. See you in a bit.